is mid-January already, which is crazy because I feel like it was just Christmas and we were talking about it's just Christmas and it's that time between Christmas and New Year's. And now it's mid-January and soon it's gonna be February. The world keeps going. It's crazy. The years just keeps flying by. So thank you for joining me on this Thursday morning. I am here live. It is 9 a.m. Pacific time where I am. I'm on the West Coast. But wherever you are joining us from, welcome. Thank you for being here. Good morning, good afternoon. And I see we have Thaisa helping in the background. So she is super helpful. She's also very knowledgeable. So if you have any questions or need links, she's great to help answer them. And then I will do my best as well. So today we're working with filigree. I love filigree. It's always been a big love of mine. So this is what a piece of filigree looks like. So really pretty. And we have actually a lot of them on Beadaholique still. So you know that we're going through our closing sale. So everything is 50% off, which means things are selling out really quickly. But I'm trying to spotlight items that I know we still have in stock when I'm doing these classes. Eventually, we're probably going to get to the point where we have to do like technique-based and things like that, which is totally great too. But for now, while there's still some items up there, I am trying to spotlight some good categories to play with. And for this one, we're going to do filigree. And I see we have a lot of friends joining us today. I'm going to scroll here now that I figured out how to scroll. I see Tanya's here and Lori and Laura and Francie. Hello. Ramona in Alabama. Hello. Lori Jackson in Texas. Dee Renee. Good morning. Sandra in snowy northern Indiana. Oh my gosh, 8.9 inches yesterday. That is a lot of snow. Teresa in Michigan. Hello. Pat in Georgia. Sherry in Ohio, hello. Teresa from Texas and Judy from Illinois. I love reading where everybody is from. It is so great to see. Everyone's so spread out. Hello, Heidi Ann from Arkansas and Kathleen. Oh, you're cold for Delray Beach. We had a real cold snap here too. I'm in Southern California. And so we're just now getting back to our normal warm weather, which is great. Hello, Cynthia from Texas. We always have a lot of friends joining us from Texas. I love that. Vicky, hello, and Chris. Okay, Dee from Miami, hello. Yeah, you're right, Francie. I feel like almost every state is represented today. This is wonderful. All right, so we're gonna be playing with filigree and we're gonna be making focals. So you can turn these focals into necklaces, you can do pendants, you could turn the focals into earrings, whatever you wanna do with them. I'm gonna share a couple different techniques. And then of course there's many more you could do as well. You could always glue something on these. You can glue a pin back. They're just really fun little pieces. And I did notice with the sale, they already started out really inexpensive. I know some of these are like 17 cents. So with that 50% off, which is awesome. We always love a good sale. Hello, Rhonda from South Carolina. Hello, and Susan J from Seattle. Angel, hello from Savannah, and Liz and Ellen in New Jersey. Hello, Linda in Boston. Oh my gosh, we really do have almost every state. And Hannah in Iceland. Hello, Clara in Texas. Santa Barbara girl, hello. Cold and sunny, Oregon, very nice. Oregon is beautiful. So I grew up in the Seattle area. And now I live in Southern California, but I've made that drive between the SoCal and Seattle so many times. And you go through so many beautiful places in Northern California, throughout Oregon. It's just a beautiful drive. Oh, and definitely you can see my earrings. So this was from a previous show that we did. And these are little Super Duo Starburst earrings. And they were not hard to make. So if you know me, I really love doing little beaded components, but ones that aren't that complicated and don't take that much time. So kind of that instant gratification. So those are little Super Duo Starbursts. So like this show here and the one we're going to do today, all of these videos are saved. So you can always go back and rewatch the replay. The replays can be found on our website at beadaholique.com or on our YouTube channel for Beadaholique. And then even after Beadaholique officially closes and there's not the Beadaholique website anymore, we do plan on keeping the YouTube channel up and going. There's not gonna be anyone monitoring it as far as I know, but all those thousands of videos over the last, oh my goodness, 20 years, I'm not sure how long, will still be available. So you won't lose that content and you won't lose like these shows here. So that's really good. Oh, thank you, Santa Barbara girl. Oh, can we do a super duo in a diamond shape sometime? Yes, let's do it. I like that. I'll put that down as maybe we'll do that pretty soon because I have a lot of super duos here. I love the idea of doing a super duo in a diamond shape. Very good. Okay. Oh, hey, Ann B, and Ruby is here as well, and Chris. Hello. All right. So a couple other quick notes for anyone who is new to joining us. Welcome. We are live. It is 9:05 a.m. Pacific time on this Thursday morning. If you're joining us live, please feel free to comment. We love it. It's great to put where you're coming from. If you have design ideas, questions, anything like that, put it in the comment section. If you are on YouTube or Facebook watching this, welcome, hello. Please note that we don't have anyone monitoring those comments though. Every once in a while we're able to peek over there. I'm not actually able to with my platform, but every once in a while Thaisa or Michelle can. But it's much better if you pop on over here to Beadaholique, and then when you comment, I can actually see it in my screen. So that's super helpful. What else should I share about? The shopping bag icon. Thank you, Thaisa. There's a bunch of different icons here that you probably can see. There's the heart, which gives floaty hearts. There's the arrow, which is a share button. And there's the shopping bag, which has everything preloaded into like a curated collection of what I'm going to work with today. The tools and the findings are sold out already. I'm sorry. But we are starting the show hopefully with all the other main components, the filigree, the beads in stock. So I am getting to the point where I am not prepping these shows too far in advance because I want to make sure that what I'm showing for the main components is still in stock. So I'm tending to do these just a day or two before we actually are here together and share in this class, so that hopefully we start the show with in-stock items. And then there's other items on the website as well. All right, I think we covered it all. Let's go ahead and flip the camera down. And sunny backyard today, and we've got some fun things to play with. I made a few samples that we'll do to show different techniques, and then we might deviate a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna position this down a little further, adjust my lighting, see if I can get just a little bit brighter here. Just a little. Okay, so this is one focal that I made, and I did it by layering 2 pieces of filigree and creating some dangles off of it. And this could definitely be a really pretty pendant. Now you don't have to use these same beads. I love these green flower beads, these like petally beads. But you don't have to use them. You can definitely use crystals, whatever you like. But I thought it was kind of fun to layer the 2 pieces together. You don't have to. If you wanted to see what it would look like just with the gold, here's what it would look like just with the gold, which is really pretty too. So that's a nice effect as well. Oh, hello from Denver. Hi, Mick. Is it Mickey or Mick? I love that. It's very pretty spelling. So you could just do it like this, or you can put that other piece of filigree behind it for a layered look. So I did that. Then I did this kind of fun one. I'm going to hold this up. I just wanted to show different ideas and techniques that you could do with this filigree. So this one's going to be a little easier to hold up with my plier because you would just put a chain through it. But here's another one. So on this one, I added some seed beads to some jump rings. I created a little dangle focal, and then I did a little wire wrapping. So there's a little small bit of wire wrapping along the edge of the filigree for this one. And so with the filigree, I want to kind of show some pieces up close because you have lots of options. So here is a piece of filigree. You can hang dangles from the open work. You could glue flat back crystals onto here very, very easily. And then you could put a cabochon in the middle as well. So you could do that. I've done pieces before where I glue a pretty little flat cabochon, flat back cabochon, and then just a pin back, and you make a really simple little brooch out of it. You could also hang a charm. So I want to talk about all the different things you can do, and then I'm going to show how to do a couple different techniques, but it's fun to kind of explore your different options here. So you can see that the filigrees come in different shapes. So here's a pretty little oval one, and it's a little bit rounded. Then there's a nice square, and they come in different finishes too. So they come in different shapes and different finishes. And then you've got this one here, which is a really pretty little gold one. And usually there is a right and wrong side to these. So you can kind of see how these are made, or it's almost like they're stamped. So this one has the indents going in, and then here's all the nice kind of raised design effects. So I'm just going to show these off to begin with, and then we're going to create with them. I love this little one too. They're a really nice little size, and you can layer. It's fun to get like a mixed metal layer effect here, but this is a really pretty little one. And then here it is in antique brass and then antique copper. So you see all of these. The oval also comes in a nice gunmetal. So you see what that looks like. So lots and lots of options here to play with. I have a couple others. So let's see. Oh, this one came in antique brass as well. And they're just really pretty. I love them. Okay, so that is what the filigree looks like in person. So you can see it here with a size comparison, all that pretty open work. So again, let's talk about a few design ideas, and then we're actually going to work with them and make them into some things. So for design ideas, especially when you have something like this, you could wire wrap around the edge, which is what we're going to do. And then you could also, I don't have it here because I didn't have the supplies, but you could glue crystals onto here. There's a lot of beautiful colors of prestige crystals. You could easily glue crystals onto here. You could glue flat items. You could do layering. And you can even do, let me show you maybe, I'll show you with this one. Some of them you can slightly bend. So if you want to do something where you get into a little bit of metalworking with these, you can gently, it's pretty stiff, which is good. You want it to be stiff and sturdy if you're not going to bend it. But maybe you have a bail making plier and you want to do something where you're creating an effect with these. You can start to curve them. Or maybe that curve equals a curve for a bracelet. So you can do a lot of different things with these that are really fun. Oh, good, Linda. Yeah, they're really nice. I mean, it is. You look at the price, and some of these are like 17 cents. But they're really nice pieces. I love them. Okay, so let's start creating. I'm going to start with this one. So I want to show you some of the beads I have on my table to play with today. I have these drops, which it was a surprisingly long strand. I was very surprised when I got this. But these are really cute little drops. I'm just going to put one on a head pin so you can see the whole orientation. So we're going to use these little guys today because I've been wanting to use them. And then these are pretty little dot beads. They're called little dot beads because they've got like little dots on them. And there's just a really pretty little color and they're very shiny. I pulled these guys out as well. They're just a nice like light sapphire. I think these are called like a triangle cut. They've got like 3 nice cuts in them. Oh, hello, Terry. Welcome. And then I have some vertical hole leaves. We tend to use these a lot these days. They're kind of something I've fallen in love with. And then I have a strand of English cuts as well if we want to play with them. And then I've got these rosebud beads as well. And then I have 2 packs of seed beads. And again, when we are starting the show, all the beads are in stock, or at least they should be. In stock at the start of the show. These pretty green leaves, which I love. These little flowers. I guess they're more flowers than leaves. Oh, hello, Tracy. And then I have a couple of seed bead mixes. Seed bead mixes are great because they just give you a lot of variety to work with. And we're going to work with this one a lot today. It's called Raiden Gold Green Blue Mix. That's pretty. I didn't know the name of that one. So this one's really pretty, and it's got a couple bugle beads we're going to take advantage of. Oh, hello, Mary Kay from Maryland. Hello. All right, so let's start with this one. So we're going to make this one here to begin with. And again, you can choose how you want to do it, if you want the layered effect or if you want it to just be the one. This has a jump ring up here that you can put a pre-made chain necklace through, or you can put this on an earring hook as well. And this is probably one of the most common uses for filigree, and it's going to be creating little dangles to hang off of it. And so you could use any bead you like, and we can decide right now, do we want to recreate this exact one, or we have other colored beads. We can pull out these beautiful beads and use these ones, or maybe we want to use something else. We can definitely do something else, or we can go ahead and just recreate with those green flower beads. Does anyone have a preference? I always like to kind of leave it open. Something different. Okay, let's do something different. I was really hoping to be able to use these guys, so let's use these. These would make really pretty little dangles. And so I'm just gonna lay that out. So I'm gonna do one from each corner. And then, well, we could bring in, maybe we'll open up. This could be really pretty. It'll be kind of light and airy. Let's open up this mix. We're gonna make this a little lighter and brighter. Okay, so this is a nice little mix. And it's got a couple little gold beads in it, which is nice. And it's got some frosted beads. I like the frosted that I'm seeing. Okay, so I have got a head pin right here. And I'm gonna put on a pretty little crystal seed bead from that mix. So there's just a little seed bead. And then let's go ahead and put on a gold. And that is a really shiny, nice gold. And that looks to be a triangle bead. So that's nice. So that gives us just a hint of gold. And this is why I love the mixes, because they really do give you a lot of options. Now we could go ahead and do the bugles like I did in the other one, just for kind of a different effect if we wanted to. Let's see what that would look like. It kind of creates these like pointed drops. Or maybe we put a bigger bead at the bottom and then a bugle. Yeah, the white seed beads are really pretty. So maybe we do, let's just see what this is gonna look like. So we could create drops like that, or we could just create our regular drops. So maybe we leave the bugles off of this one and just a pretty little drop like that. So just this little sequence of beads. I think that'll be really pretty. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a loop. And you have a choice at this point with the filigree. So with filigree, you can, if you're gonna make wrapped wire loops, you can attach them directly to the open work hole, or you can make a complete wrapped wire loop and then just use a jump ring to attach it. Both options are great. Maybe we'll do the jump ring attachment method, just because we often do the other where we do the direct attachment method. So maybe in this one, we're gonna do the jump ring. So I've got my wire looping pliers. You could absolutely use round nose. So don't feel like you have to use wire looping just because I do. I'm gonna go ahead, pinch, bend down, rotate up, and then pinch. I like to hold it with my chain nose like this. Oh, hello, Ruth Alice. And we're gonna do some pretty little wraps. And you know what? I want a lot of gold on this one because this filigree is so wonderfully bright gold. I'm gonna do even more wraps than I normally do, I think, just so it has an even kind of more wiry look. So if you can see what I'm doing up here, I'm spinning that wrapping technique. So I'm kind of going a little bit beyond where I would normally go. And I'm gonna do as much as I can with that. And that way I end up with a heavier wire wrap and it almost becomes like a little bead cap. If you can see that, we did a little bit more than usual. Yes, and Santa Barbara Girl, you're right. The jump rings do give more movement as well. Okay, and when I can't wrap anymore, I just trim off that little edge, and then you still want to tuck your tail. You tuck your tail just so it doesn't scratch you or snag on anything. Okay, so let's make 3 identical ones like that. The head pins I'm using right now are 24 gauge, 2 inches. If you do like that little spinny look, 24 gauge is very handy for that because it's so soft. It's really easy to make that little spin. Okay, so here's our second identical little dangle. Ooh, a second filigree in the opposite direction. I haven't tried that. That would be, so I think I know what you're saying. So like if you had 2 layered like this, you could almost do something like that. If the open work holes would play nicely. I think you'd have to kind of play with it to see if you could get your holes to line up. You might be able to do it with this one. Yeah, this one would just hang a little lower. Yeah, it's fun to layer the filigree. You get a really unique look to it that way. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing here. Squeeze. I have painted filigree in the past as well, and that's a fun thing to be able to do. I've actually spray painted it, which has worked. Okay, again, I'm going to keep doing my little spin here until I can't spin any further. So that's where I'm at right now. Yes, Francie, I know. Yes, if you just type in filigree, so much comes up. Yeah, and some is like 10 cents. Yeah, it's nuts. And then if you see a higher price on some filigree, I noticed, because I was looking at the website last night, I noticed it's for multiple pieces. So look at the quantity, and the ones that are like 10 cents, 17 cents were like 1 unit. So you would get like 1 piece of filigree. But then I noticed some that were more priced like $1.50. And on those ones, it looked like you got a 12 pack. So that's something to kind of look at too when you're looking at the filigree, is look at how many pieces you get. And some that look to be more expensive are actually multi-packs. And I don't know why that is. So it's just, that was just something to be aware of. You know, Laura, I don't. You know what? I want to do some for myself soon. I would love to. I'm trying to kind of get that up and going, doing some YouTube videos for me, because I love doing this. I really do. And it's a time factor, and I need to find the time. But hopefully someday soon. So yes, pretty little spiral. Oh, thank you, Laura. I do have an Instagram account. It's Julie Ann Bean. It's just my name, and Ann is spelled A-N-N-E. So just Julie Ann Bean. And I try to post there sometimes. I don't post as much as I can, or as I should say. But if I do get a YouTube channel up and going, I would definitely post there. And I just put up a little behind the scenes video there to show like my video setup, my lighting setup, and then I'll post different things up there sometimes. I know I'm terrible about it. I know I need to be better about it. Okay, so now I've got my 3 dangles. So what I'm going to do, oh, thank you, Laura. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little dangle that we made with that spiral head pin. Oh, I like that, Lori. That's awesome. Yeah, a lot of people don't have the E in the Ann. Okay, so see this little hole here, this little hole here, and this little hole here. These are the ones we're going to connect to. Now, you could, on this particular filigree, connect to this hole. You have lots and lots of options. Any of this open work is something you can connect to. Oh, thank you, Angie. Yeah, I will try. I want to put more videos up there, or more like behind the scene videos too, is what my goal is to do. It's just been very busy. Okay, and I'm going to connect this one now. Yeah, I will definitely, I have a channel name reserved, and I have the platform set up. I just haven't put anything up there yet, but you guys are encouraging me to do that. So this is good. This is a good reminder and encouragement that I should get that going. So these are little 4mm jump rings that I'm using. You have whatever jump ring you have would probably work. 4, 5, 21 gauge, 22, 24, pretty flexible on this particular project in terms of the jump ring. So I have used patina paints before on filigree, and those work really well, but those are really hard to find these days. They used to be more common. I have used spray paint from the hardware store is what I've actually used, and it's worked totally fine. Little light, gentle layers to begin with, because you don't want to accidentally put too much paint on here and have it fill in your open work holes. So what I would recommend is just gentle, light, quick sprays from a distance, and then let that dry, see if you actually need any more or not. Yep, spray paint. It's worked really well, because you think of it, a lot of spray paint is meant to go on metal. And so it does stick on there really nicely. So we have our little dangles here. I want to show you what we've got. So here are these 3 dangles here. Of course, you can use any beads that you like. And then to be able to make this an earring, you would just put an earring hook on here. But let's say you want it to be a pendant focal. You would just take a jump ring, and you were just going to put a jump ring through that top open hole. Oh, Laureen is saying gel polish works too. May work too. That's a good idea. Yeah, I think that might work. I've heard of people using nail polish successfully as well. What you're not going to want to use is like a craft acrylic paint unless you have a really good sealer. So I can tell you that much, because I have tried that on metal before, and it definitely wiped off. Any of them will work, Jane. So here's the jump ring. I want to show what this would look like with this piece behind it as well. So here's with the layering, if you wanted to do a layered effect. So you can see right here. So you could do a layered effect, or you can do it without that backdrop. Totally up to you. But by having this nice top jump ring, this easily becomes a pendant for a chain necklace. So you can see right here. Now we could also try to hang another drop right from this jump ring as well. And then you would have a drop going down the center of it as well. Oh yeah, craft paint, unfortunately, is not going to work. You're going to want something that like sticks to metal, which is what you've got when it's like the spray paint. I have definitely used matte, gloss, semi-gloss. They've all worked for me. There are clear spray sealants as well. I don't know how necessary they are, to be honest, in this application. You can definitely put a spray sealant on it if you wanted to. But usually like a spray paint is pretty solid. Like I've spray painted metal items in my yard, and they've been, subject to the weather, and they've been okay. So kind of just maybe read the label of the spray paint bottle in particular and see if it says it's for metal. If it does, you're probably good to go. Okay, so there is one use for filigree. I love it. I love it when we talk about these subjects that kind of relate to it, but we share our knowledge. Okay, so Santa Barbara Girl is saying folk art multi-surface paint will work. I love that. Okay, so that's another good one. Forgot the dangle bead color. Oh, the dangle bead color. So this should be in the shopping bag, or Michelle and Thaisa. I think it's like a light sapphire is what it's maybe called. And it's a triangle cut bead. So it actually has 3 cuts on the side. And it's got this pretty outer finish, this little metal outer finish. Good question, Michelle. There are some silver filigree pieces left, not many. Maybe Thaisa can add some to the shopping bag if she can find some. I thought I put 1 in the shopping bag that I don't have as a sample here, but there might be a couple more that she could add. Oh, I see a banner popped up of at least 1. Oh, they would make cute jewels for shoes. Absolutely. All right, so here was the piece I had made originally, just with the dangles and those green petal flowers, and I had layered this one. And then this just used these really pretty beads from this. Oh, hello, Mary. And then this is the new one we made with these pretty little dangles and that white mix. And now we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a little wire wrapping, because I wanted to do some wire wrapping just to show that it was an option. So we're going to do a little wire wrapping, and then we're going to do this little piece right here. Okay, so this is a great filigree for wire wrapping because you have nice big loops. So here you go. So you see those nice big open work loops. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do a little experiment here because in my tester piece, used 28 gauge wire and I ran out. So I'm gonna try it with 26 gauge and hopefully it works. Bronze, medium, sapphire. Thank you, Ramona. Okay, so I'm gonna cut myself. Well, first off, I'm gonna take off this end, which is a little bit wonky. I'm gonna cut myself about 6-7 inches. So I just have this wire piece right here. So to make them into a brooch, you would just glue using probably E6000 a pin back onto them. And I've done that with these filigree pieces before and they've worked great. Thaisa, do we have any pin backs left in stock? Because pin backs have like a nice flat back to them, and then you can do whatever you want on the front for decoration. And you could layer. So let's say you wanted to do a pin back, but you wanted a lot of filigree happening here. So maybe you put the pin back here, and then you've got a layer. Maybe use a different color. You do 2 tones layered on top of each other. That could be really pretty. Okay, that's a great idea, Mary. Mary is saying you could also dap them. That's a great idea. And these are soft enough to do that. Oh, hello, Gina from Northern California. I love it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna wire wrap. So we're just gonna go into, so first off, we're gonna go into one of our holes, but I noticed on this one, because I did the sample, I wanna make sure I duplicate what I did in the sample for the jump ring idea. Okay, so in this one, I want 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so on this one, I want the star pointing up. So you see how it's like a little star in the center? I want the star pointing up, and I'm gonna start wrapping here. So I've got 1 dangle, 2 dangles, 3 dangles. So this is the open work I'm gonna start in, and I'm just gonna put my wire through it. And in this case, it's a little bit easier to just wrap like this. So I'm gonna wrap with the short wire to start with. Okay, and let's hope it works with the 26 gauge. If not, we're gonna learn that it doesn't. And you'll need 28 gauge. Now, I found it much easier when I'm wrapping with wire to grab the wire with my chain nose pliers. All right, so then you just pull it. And if it forms a little kink, you just kind of work it out with your plier until it sits against the edge. So you see how we got 1 wrap in there. Now we're gonna go ahead and wrap it again. I'm just using my pliers as my kind of like an extension of my hand to do my wrappings. Okay, there's 2. And you can see how it's just going along the edge there. And I'm going to do a 3rd. And there we go. So I got 3 wraps right there. And that's going to be enough to anchor this. This isn't going to go anywhere. So now what I want to do is I want to take one of these drops. So this is this huge strand of drops. And I'm just going to take one of them. I'm going to need 3. So I've got the 3 little ones separated. And I'm going to start with just 1, and I'm going to feed it onto my wire. And I'm going to let it sit right in, oh, and I'm using a different color than I did for my sample. Well, that's okay. That's okay. We're going to do the antique copper mixed with gold on this one. So in my sample piece, I used the antique brass. I happened to just pick up the antique copper, so we're going to go with it. But they do come in different finishes. Okay, so now we've got this resting in that little corner. Now we're going to take our wire, feed it through the next hole, and feed it through as much as you can. Kind of help it. Okay, and once it's through, that will anchor it in there and it will stay. Now we're going to do the same thing we did before, where we're going to start to use the chain nose plier again as an extension of our hand. It's just so much easier. I'm just going to go grab it And you don't need a lot of loops here. You really don't, because it's anchored on there pretty good. So if you are doing antique copper, you might want to use antique copper wire. If you're doing antique brass, you might want to use antique brass wire. If you're doing silver, use silver wire, etc., just so that it blends in. All right, and then we're going to do another one in the next little recess right there. And I was debating, because I always like to talk through kind of the design process here. I was debating whether you could do this with like wildfire, because it would be easier if you did this with like a beading wire, a beading thread instead of wire. And my hesitation, and maybe someone in the community can talk if they've ever done this before, my hesitation was that the metal edge of this could cut my wildfire accidentally. And I don't know if that's the case or not. Has anyone done beadwork with like a wildfire around a filigree edge? And what was their experience? Because that was my hesitation for using wire instead of beading thread, like a fire line or a wildfire. I'd be curious if anyone has done it, because it would look really pretty just to do an edge. Oh yeah, it's definitely possible to put a gem in the center. Are you talking like a pointed gem or a flatback? Flatbacks would be easy. Pointed gem would be easy if it was a pretty petite pointed gem. If it was a larger gem, like a 6 millimeter, 8 millimeter, it might need another setting in here to cushion it. Yeah, I might experiment with the wildfire sometime and just really kind of stress test it to see if it would work for this application or not. Because I think it would be really pretty and there'd be a lot of things we could do with it. But yeah, I don't know, Santa Barbara girl, I was just hesitating. I was like, something in me is saying that might be a problem. So you see how this is looking? Oh, a cup gem wired on would definitely work. That's a good idea. Okay, so this was our last one we're going to do for this particular project. So we're going to go ahead and just go around this side loop 3 times. And again, when your wire gets a little tough, you just go in with your pliers and use them to help it. And since I know I'm not going to be needing this much, even before I finish my wrappings, I can cut some of that off just to make it a little easier. Oh, I like it. Okay. Great idea. See, this is why we're such a good community here. I love that we all share knowledge. Yeah, I think this is my year. I think I talked about it before. I was kind of going to go really kind of eclectic with my jewelry designs for me personally. And I want to do different things. I want to use filigree. I want to use different techniques with like filigree and just really kind of push the limits and play. All right, so I have 3 wraps on each side. And I am just going to trim them now. Just my regular cutters, so the same cutters you use for everything. And then after you trim them, just like we always do with everything else, you're going to want to squish any rough edge down into your wrappings, or at least flat against your filigree so it doesn't snag on anything. Okay, so this one now has these 3 little drops wire wrapped onto it. And then on the sample, I did kind of do something a little different. I don't know if we want to do it or not. I might go a little more simple because it might be a little bit busy. I did put another drop here, but I'm kind of second guessing that as maybe being a little too much. So let's just do I actually do have antique copper here. Let's just do a pretty little antique copper drop with one of the leaves that's going to go right in the center here. And then we're going to use a little jump ring trick to be able to put a center jump ring that you could put a necklace through. So here is this bead mix. And these were really pretty colors on this one. Let me show you. So this one has some nice colors to it and different shapes as well. Ruth Alice, good luck at your appointment. Okay, so this has got some nice beads. Again, different shapes, different sizes in this tube, which is very helpful. Okay, And let's just go ahead and let's start with maybe, I'm kind of doing a mixed color on this one because I used the antique copper instead of using the antique brass, but I love these leaves. So let's use a leaf. Okay, so I've just got that there like so. So what this will do is once we wrap it, it's going to hang there in the center of our filigree. And then let me just put one more bead on here from this mix, so a kind of a lighter gold bead to kind of match those gold drops. Yeah, it's a really pretty bead mix. I agree. Okay, and then we're just going to do a little wrapped wire loop. I think so, Angie. I think so. Either Victorian or 1920s. Definitely anything pre-1940, I think. All right, so we got that. Tuck it in. All right, so now we're ready with our little drop. And then what we're gonna do is here, and this is, I was happy to, I wanna show this. So in this particular filigree, for the center, if you want your star pointing up, you don't have a center loop. Oh, thank you, Mary Kay. So the way that you combat that is you put a jump ring on either side, and then you connect those with another jump ring, and that will make this centered and make it so it hangs right. So I'm gonna grab some of these. These are little antique copper jump rings, I think these are 6 millimeter. 5 millimeter would work too. So a 5 or a 6 would work in this case. I'm gonna open that up. And I am going to, for the fun of it, see if this will work. I'm gonna take a bead from my bead mix and slip it onto my jump ring as an added little guy, just for a little extra something. So I'll put that on here now through one of the side top loops. And hopefully you're seeing that this is like one idea, but you can do so many different things with these techniques and with these filigree pieces. You have lots of choices. Okay, I'm gonna take another one. Yeah, Angie, I totally hear you. I've really started to also enjoy turning off technology in the evening and just having like a soft glowing lamp and doing like a puzzle book. I don't know, I think it does hark back to that. That whole feeling like Victorian, or just that time period where there wasn't all this, stimulation, and you could just sit down by candlelight or with a soft light with a good book or a puzzle or something. Yeah. All right, so here we're gonna go. I'm gonna now do another jump ring. And so we could put beads on this one too if we wanted to, or we could leave it plain. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure these beads are facing forward. I'm going to link it to the first one. Come on, face forward. Okay, I'm also now going to grab my little dangle that I made, put it on here too. And then I'm gonna link it to this other, and this is what you got. So you see you have those pretty little seed beads accenting the bottom bead here. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close this. And if you were gonna turn this into an earring, you would just attach an earring hook to it right here, because that's the right orientation. But it's the wrong orientation if you want to put this as a pendant focal through a chain necklace. So to combat that, we're just going to take one more jump ring, and we're going to open it up, and we're going to put it onto that last jump ring and close it on up. And now you have something that can have a chain go through it like so. So the seed beads come in a seed bead mix. I believe the ones I just used were 8/0. They look like a Toho round 8/0 that will go through the little jump ring. But here's this pretty little focal. Actually, I really like it with the antique copper. So that was kind of like a happy mistake. And then the sample I did was in antique brass. So you can see the difference. And on this one, I added even more seed beads for the fun of it. I just was kind of having fun putting seed beads on. And the seed beads came in this mix here. So you can see up close, there's 11s, there's 6s, there's 8s, there's bugles, there's triangles. So this mix just has a lot of different sizes in it, which is super helpful. So those are a couple ideas of what to do with filigree. You can, of course, branch off. I love the idea of layering the filigree. I do think that's really pretty. Or bending it like we talked about in the beginning. If you missed the beginning, these can be, a lot of them can be dapped. Not all of them. I wouldn't say all of them can be, but a lot of them can be like manipulated with like a bail making plier or some simple metalsmithing tools. You can definitely wire wrap around them. You can glue items onto them. You can glue a pin back onto them. You can make them into shoe clips. So lots of different things. Oh, I love beads on jump rings. That's a fun thing. So like it is actually, so I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. It's so easy to do, and you can make like just really simple but pretty little decorative links this way. Let me show you. So like here, I just put 3, sorry, it's a little blurry, guys. Okay, I just put 3 jump rings on, not 3 jump rings, I put 3 8/0 seed beads onto a jump ring. And let's say that was like at the end of a pretty little chain or something. That would be really cute. Like if you put another jump ring on there and you just had that dangling. So easy to do. And it's probably using supplies you already have or supplies you were going to use for something else, but really simple little trick technique to kind of dress up your jump rings or use them as like a little dangle or a little focal, but they look really cute. So you can definitely always add seed beads. And these are pretty heavy gauge jump rings. I would say that these are at least a 21 gauge jump ring that I'm using. And the 8/0s are still easily going onto them. Oh, thank you, and thank you. Thank you. Okay. I want to glue a cabochon. I would use E6000. So if you're going to glue on these, here would be my recommendation. Okay, let's say you want to glue on this. I would use E6000. I would put it, you can have 2 choices. You either put it on the back of your cabochon. I don't have a good sample of anything flat to show with. So you can either put it on the back of your cabochon or you can put the glue on the filigree. You're going to sandwich them together. I would let it dry on a plastic bag. And the reason I say that is you've got a lot of open work holes here. Probably some of the glue is going to seep through the holes a little bit. And what you're going to do is you're going to want to make sure, one, your work surface is protected. You wouldn't want to put it down on your beading mat and then suddenly you try to yank it up off your beading mat and it's glued to it. And then you have to like cut it out of it. So I would definitely put it down onto a plastic bag. Also because the plastic bag is going to be able to hopefully be pulled away easily from your piece when it's done. So I would just keep that in mind. I would be medium amount of glue, so not so sparingly that it doesn't adhere, but I definitely would not over glue to the point where it like squishes out. So just a normal size amount of glue. So hopefully that gave some good ideas. But yeah, you could turn it like this with a cabochon in the middle. You could turn it like that with a cabochon in the middle. Lots and lots of options. You could glue, if it's maybe a pin, you could glue your pin back first and then glue your focal. So lots of things you can do. All right, I'm going to flip the camera up. This was fun. This was A little bit of a different class. We haven't really made focals like this before. We usually do like finished pieces, but this was fun. Hopefully it gave everyone some good ideas. And then these filigrees again are just really pretty and very inexpensive right now with our 50% off sale as well, which is always nice too. So fun pieces to play with. All right, I'm going to flip the camera up and say goodbye for today, but I'll be back on Monday. Here we go. All right, well, thank you everyone for joining me today. This was fun to do. Filigree has always been one of my favorite beading components. Like I was talking with Angie here, I am an old soul, so Victorian, 1920s, 1930s. So anything that harks to that is particularly appealing to me. The filigree is very romantic. It's a very fun element to incorporate into your jewelry designs, whether you are making a brooch or earrings or a necklace, and lots of different things you could do with it. That was just a couple ideas. The easiest, of course, is just the simple little wrapped wire loops hanging from jump rings. You could put that into any open work hole. If you want something sparkly, consider Prestige crystal flatbacks. Very easy to glue on, come in a ton of colors. So lots of different options for that as well. All right, thank you guys for joining me today. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. The video will become available just shortly after we say goodbye. So if you missed anything or want to go back and rewatch, that is going to be there and preserved. So